All right, we're now joined by Rise Mzansi Tshwane mayoral candidate, Sarah Mabotsa. A very good evening to Ms. Mabotsa. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Good evening to all the viewers and listeners at home. Thank you so much for inviting me to this interview.
Oh, no, thank you for coming through. I mean, you've spent the last 2 years as the MMC for Economic Development and Spatial Planning under Nasipi Moya's coalition, publicly praising the administration. And you also said the good governance is helping Tshwane rise. So why should voters see you as change rather than a continuation of an administration that you're now positioning your candidacy against?
Yes. So basically what I was saying is that Tshwane needs to rise. It's been rising, but was not rising to the extent that it will be able to elevate poverty, will be able to get much needed jobs and grow economy. The service delivery, yes, is there, but we need to take it to the next level. So having to be in the office, my job is going to be simple. I said I'm going to continue with the job creation as well as economy, because where there is no job creation and economy growing, obviously the number of unemployment will go down. Because you can see that even the number is speaking for itself here in South Africa. It's being so stubborn, it's keeping going up. But when you look at the stats in Tshwane, these also attest to what the work that I'm doing, that we have reduced the number of employment. Because again, economic growth and jobs give dignity to the residents of Tshwane. If we can be able to talk about so many things, but if we don't give them the dignity, we'll not be able to service them the way they're supposed to be and won't be doing justice to them. But again, I said, under any economy to thrive, it means we need to have a safe environment. So some of the things that I'm thinking that, if I can be able to be appointed, because I'm becoming a second mayor candidate for the second time now. So I started in 2019. And when I was appointed in office, I said to the voters who voted for me, I said, I promise you, I want to make change in the city of Tshwane. I want to create an environment where economy will grow, where jobs will be created, and where budget will go towards a funded budget. And when we look at the statistics today, the information speaks for itself. Because since 2024, when we went in office, be rest assured, like now, even GSAA, they confirmed that we are having a confirmed budget. Okay. National Treasury did the same thing. So it shows that we are on the right trajectory.
Okay, so now Ms. Mabotsa, well, if Tshwane's finances and the service delivery are genuinely improving under this particular coalition, as you've just alluded to, and as you claimed in council, what's the actual case for removing Moya and installing you instead? What specifically hasn't worked that you would do differently?
I'm not saying that nothing has worked, but I'm saying I want to go to the office and be a mayor so that I can be able to help the residents of Tshwane. For where Dr. Moya is doing, it's good enough, but I also want to get this opportunity so that I can be able to assist where possible, because you also have to acknowledge and know that it's a fact that there is no way that you're going to have any majority party. Okay. So wherever we're going to these elections, we know that there will be some coalition that will be formed. But you are saying as Rise Mzansi, we want Tshwane to rise more so that we can be able to have more seats in council. You just mentioned that I'm a one-seater and through the good party, because I worked so hard during 2019 to have that seat. But what I'm saying, I want us to have more seats in council so that we can have more voice, so that we can be able to provide more services and we can be able to provide more jobs.
And your own coalition fired its corporate services MMC this year after she was implicated at the Madlanga Commission for allegedly manipulating a tender. So as a sitting member of that mayoral committee, what did you personally know? When did you know it? And what did you do about it before it became a public scandal?
No, we never knew about it, to be honest. We all being surprised by what was portrayed there at Madlanga Commission. I know MMC Murodi then as a good, a dedicated MMC. But to hear this kind of the stories that, just came out at the Madlanga Commission. So, and because she's falling from the Action SA, I think that our party leaders, they're the one who normally have a final say in terms of whom to be removed, because we are deployees of our own political party. So the leaders can decide whether to restate the person or whether to fire the person or to get a new person. That's how it works.
And Yeah, if you're denying knowledge of that particular scandal, what then, what concrete mechanism, and I'm not talking about a slogan here, what concrete mechanism would you put in place as mayor to catch corrupt tender manipulation before it costs the ratepayers money, rather than after a commission of inquiry exposes it?
Right. One of my key priorities is to talk about the funding budget. You know, the first thing that I want to do when I get into office, I want to automate the SCM process, because even now I can see that it's still a problem. So I want to implement a system where it can be able to track all the SCM documents, and in that way we make sure that, you know what, no one or no official having to take out any single document, because the most popular one that you find that, you know, the tenderers are not qualified is the issue of tax clearance certificate. So if I automate that system, then I will be able to do that. But other things that what is also important, we've already conducted a skills audit. We need to make match and place and make sure that we get the right officials in the right position, especially SCM, especially in finance, and all these other professional departments that we are currently having in the city.
All right, Ms. Mabotsa, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Rise Mzansi Tshwane mayoral candidate and the city's current MMC for Economic Development and Spatial Planning, Sarah Mabotsa, on the charm offensive, trying to lure voters as Rise Mzansi and the Good Party announced her as their joint mayoral candidate for the upcoming municipal elections.